What if I told you that the biggest thing standing between you and the life that you want is not your strategy, your habits, or even your mindset? It's your identity. Most people try to change their lives by changing what they do. They download the new planner, start another business, commit to another morning routine, or set bigger goals. But after a few months, weeks, they just feel that they need to go back to where they started. Why? Because your identity is the invisible operating system behind every decision you make. It determines what feels safe, what feels possible, what opportunities you take, what relationships you choose, how much money you allow yourself to earn, and ultimately the life you create. Real transformation doesn't happen when you learn more. It happens when you become someone different. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the woman's transformation journey, a framework that I create to help you understand how lasting transformation actually happens. It will explore different stages of identity evolution, why so many women stay stuck even when they are doing everything right, and what they need to shift internally before your external reality can truly change. By the end of this video, you will probably see yourself in one of those stages. More importantly, you'll understand exactly what is your next step to create the life and business that you've been working towards. So let's begin. So one of the things that I have personally experienced in my life is that every single time that you try to do a big change or try to do a big change, there's always this feeling of uncertainty, this feeling of loneliness, or this feelings of, or actually mixed feelings like excitement, and at the same time feeling very discouraged and disconnected from all my circle and all my environment. And I remember that when I feel like that, I used to think, is this a sign of I should stop going this way? But there was something deeper inside of me, calling and pushing me and feeling my chest bigger whenever I will think about, okay, I actually want to bring this into my reality. I want to create this type of new life, right? So I noticed that there's a lot of girls, a lot of women out there that every single time that they try to bring a very, very big change to their realities to create a different life or starting a new path in life, they try different things. They try different strategies. They try different routines to finally accumulate in a specific result. But when people and women especially, they don't get this result in a period of time that they're expecting, this is when the real challenge happens. And this is the point that I want to get you, because this specific point is where most people give up, when they have to face the uncertainty, because uncertainty usually is reflecting something that it was very deep inside of you since long time ago. So this is the exactly reason why I want to explain you what is identity, because a lot of people get confused with this topic, and there's a lot of content out there, for example, nowadays, that is talking about create your alter ego or create like this avatar who is invincible and blah, blah, blah. Right? And I understand what it's coming from. And I understand nowadays it's really related to, oh, you manifestate, you start acting like if you have it. But if you don't look back to your past and actually understand what it's really, really underneath those feelings of uncertainty, those feelings of safetyness, and how you create that within yourself, it's very hard to move forward and create that lasting transformation, right? It's like imagine you haven't showered. I know it can sound disgusting, but imagine you haven't showered for like 1 week and you just put the best clothes ever, like from very important brands, very brand new, the best perfume ever, best lotion, but you haven't showered for a week. No matter how many times and the quality and how much money you spend on those clothes, if you don't take a shower, there's something that it's gonna feel uncomfortable, that's gonna feel dirty, and that is not gonna match with the type of presentation you're trying to give to others, right? So with this is the same. And I want you to understand that identity is not something that we as women, we were born with. It was actually created by your experiences in your childhood. Whatever thing that actually makes you feel you needed to adapt to receive this feeling of acceptance, love, or feel that you were deserving. Maybe you will have to earn something first. So this identity that was created in your childhood with your parents or the environment where you grew up was actually what it creates a blueprint in your identity. And this blueprint can be still controlling your actions, the way how you create, the way how you feel towards certain situations. Hi, my glowy girls! I actually have created a whole workbook that you can download in the description right below to help you start reflecting and starting understanding your journey of this identity transformation. That's actually one of the biggest tools that we use in InsideGlow, the program. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please don't forget to give a like and subscribe and share this with other women can be also in this identity journey. So the other thing that I want you to really understand by this framework that I'm gonna be showing right now is a lot of people measure their identity and the way how they feel about themselves, the confidence that they wear in front of the world based on the results. And we've been told this the wrong way, because actually how you feel internally is how you can create results. That I really support that, but the thing is, you were born with natural skills, natural gifts, natural things that give you purpose. And you don't even remember that, because a lot of us, we were like kids and we were told to don't pay attention to those things. But for example, the very first time that I hear a psychologist saying, whatever you were playing with between your age of from 8 years old to 14 years old is probably the thing that you actually enjoy doing, and that's very connected with your purpose of helping others. So that really, really changed my way how I used to see money and how I was able to feel this satisfaction to give to others. So I remember I went with my mom and I asked her, what do you think it was the game that I used to play the most at that age? And she told me, you were always calling your classmates or people or your neighbors that they were your age, little girls, to do their makeup or do like a fashion show or something like that. And funny enough, like I ended up getting into the beauty industry for very important years of my life. Actually 8, almost 9 years of my life that I was living in US. That was the way that I lived and set up my first business. So really, really feel your intuition. And so when I was going through the transition of like, okay, what is the reason? What is the real reason behind I was enjoying that? I found out that actually what I was enjoying the most, it was enjoying those conversations with my clients, listening to people, being able to be there to kind of just reflect everything that they were feeling so overwhelmed or so heavy on their chest. And when I realized that, it's like when I feel the need to actually do something different, create this podcast, now it's allowing me to connect with you. So everything can be really, really, really uncovered by getting to know your real personality before you were having all those negative experiences in this real world. So a lot of us, we are trying to go from, okay, I have behaviors because I believe this, and that. And then we try to change those habits, right? But by trying to copy others, not because we really change what we believe on certain topics in life. And that's when you start having identity segmentation, because one part of you still believes and is standing up for what your parents teach you, what your community believes on, trying to create a safetyness, because at one point you depend on that to receive love. And then the other hand is the life that you're trying to create, and it's the life that it's depending on you to act different and to create different habits. But what's actually underneath that? So in this graphic that I'm showing right now, like, I want you to see that the first step to start changing is actually reflection. Recognize what you are bringing to the table, and recognize and finally have the decision now as a completely adult with all the freedom and all the compassion towards yourself. Choose what you want to believe and question everything that is inside of you. We're going to talk about this in another episode, why it's so important to make questions to yourself, and why this can drastically change you in very short amount period of time. But today I want to focus just in the journey. Like I say, I feel there's a lot of women trying to go through these crazy transitions in life, either because they moved to a new country like I did, or because they want to start a new business, or maybe it's just even starting a new season in your current business. Whatever it is, you feel the calling and the need to create a different identity, and something is pulling you back and holding you back because it's your nervous system calling for the safetyness that you create based on past experiences. So I was very intrigued for so many years of my life how to create this lasting change and go through this journey, and the less and the I wouldn't say the safest way, because you literally have to step into the unknown, but how to have like a map. You know, it's like if you think about going to in a specific destination, right? And you, for example, don't know the roads. You don't know if it's gonna be raining by the time that you pass by a certain specific point of that journey, or you don't know if there's just gonna be a car accident that it's gonna get you stuck in traffic. Those things are things that you will never be able to control. But as soon as you have a map, you have a destination, you feel way more, you feel that you can trust yourself. And this is what I'm trying to guide you through, so you know the process and you know what is involved in this journey. You can recognize what season you are, and you can start creating this connection with yourself. That's going to be that map that I'm talking about in this example. So after that, you reflect and start realizing all the beliefs that you're carrying in your mindset, which is one part of us, but it's not the whole thing that makes us as a person. We need to go through the second part, what is reprogrammation, and reprogramming what we believe. And this is one thing that I see a lot of people, like psychologists, talking about. And I want you to understand that your inner world can shape tremendously to the 99%. Your outside the world, that it will be your material stuff, your relationship with others, and money, right? So the inner world, I divided in sections. Everything serves to the other, and everything is connected at the end of the day, but they are not the same thing. So the first one is your mindset, everything that enters your mind. The second one, it's your body. The other one is your soul. That sensation of you were born with certain desires or certain experiences cause you pain with no explanation, or there's no background that can explain why you feel a certain way, or you feel attracted to certain things, and specifically, those are things that you were born with, and that you feel something that you cannot explain in the middle of your chest expanding whenever you're connected to this. That's what I call it, your soul. So you got this three, and then we have one that is our self-perception. In psychology, we can call it like our self-image. Is basically how you see the component of this three, like if you will see yourself in a second or even third person. How do you think that others perceives you? So if you pay attention to your body gives you energy to create a lot of focus with your mind. That is the second one. If you take care of these two, then your soul gets expanded, and then you connect with your sense of all your senses. So you are allowing and bringing this connection to enjoy the present. And then even time starts to feel different, and then your eyes start shining, and everything becomes like a snowball that it's getting bigger and bigger. So how can we touch the magical button to create this snowball, right? Everything starts with how we perceive ourselves. So, and this is what I call self-awareness, because this is the one who is gonna be the manager or the person who's gonna lead. Okay, what is the body telling me? What is my brain telling me? What are the thoughts that are there making noise? I need to pay attention to this. And how is actually the connection between those two making me feel deeply inside of myself? So also I'm gonna share with you this framework and how everything starts the snowball, because the most that you start getting connection with this framework, the most that is gonna be easy for you to understand how you can create that reconnection. And that reconnection with yourself is the thing that a lot of people see is impossible, because they always create a life that is in this segmentation. For example, they think that just to go to work, they need one thing, which is the mind. And they are not involved in their soul because the job is not connected to the purpose. Then they, for example, go home and start cooking and start doing errands at the house. And they think that they just need to use their body, literally their body. So it's like every single part of your life is using just one thing at a time. And the magic of this and what creates the biggest transformation is when you can create a life that can mix you, bring all those three things together and a whole harmonious ecosystem. Okay, so when you know how to create this, then you adapt the world, you adapt your routines, you adapt your expectations of the results that you want to create in your life. But you have a solid foundation. And for that, you already take care of what makes you feel loved, what makes you feel safe, and what makes you feel that you deserve that life. So I'll see you in the next episode. I'm very, very excited to start sharing with you tools about how you can start reflecting and using your sense of self-awareness to create a better connection with your body and your mindset, and how you can use or discover your talents. So I'll see you at the next episode.